Air Buddies is a 2006 film directed by Robert Vince. It's written by Anna McRobert, Robert Vince and Phil Hanley, and we have a cast including Slade Pearce, Noah Sullivan, Holmes Osborne, Trevor Wright. We have a voice cast including Abigail Breslin, Michael Clarke Duncan, Josh Flitter, Spencer Fox, Skyler Gisondo, and Dominic Scott Kay. Those voices are, of course, for Rosebud and Budderball, Mudbud, B-Dawg and Budda. These, of course, are the buddies. And I think I'd seen this film before, many, many years ago. It wasn't the first Buddies film that I'd seen. I don't know which one was. Maybe Spooky Buddies, I think. I'm not sure. Either way, this wasn't the first one that I'd seen. But it is the first one that follows on from the Air Bud films. And I had recently watched all of the Air Bud films. I think there were 5 of them, so I figured it's time to watch or maybe re-watch Air Buddies. And it's definitely decent. It's a fun little adventure story. The puppies are adorable. These are the puppies, of course, of Buddy, and they all have adorable little personalities. They're all very different to one another, and they have very strong personalities as well, which really comes across in the other Buddies films, not just in this one. It's not just a case of getting to know them and then they blend into one. I think they really retain those personalities throughout this film and onwards, and it's really great to get to know them. And in this one, they end up running away. Some antagonists are after their parents. They are after Buddy and Molly. And the buddies end up running away, and now the buddies are in danger as well. Will the buddies and their parents be safe by the end of the film? Well, I'm not going to say, but we do spend a lot of time outdoors as the buddies go off on this adventure. We meet some other animals along the way, which I thought was a really nice touch. And in general, it is a sweet story. As I said, it's maybe not as fun as the other ones, and I think the reason for that is that there's not a very strong theme. After this one, most, if not all, I'm trying to think off the top of my head here, I don't have the list up in front of me, but most of the other Buddies films have a kind of theme. We have Spooky Buddies, which is Halloween, Santa Buddies, which is Christmas, there's Treasure Buddies, which has a kind of ancient Egypt? I watched it like 2 months ago and I can't remember, but certainly we have a theme there, and the other Buddies, Space Buddies obviously has a space theme. This one is just more of a slightly more generic adventure story compared with the others, and that's not a bad thing. Just by comparison, I think the other ones are maybe a little bit more exciting because they have a stronger theme. But as an introduction to the characters, I think this is really great. It's a really fun way to get to know these adorable little puppies. And I think the story works well, it flows well. Great voice acting, great human acting. I have no complaints. It might not be my favourite Buddies film, but nevertheless, I really enjoyed it. If you've seen the Air Bud films, then I'd say absolutely check this out. If you've never seen them, it doesn't necessarily matter. As I said, I'm pretty sure I'd seen this before I'd seen the Air Bud films, but having now watched them in order, it's maybe a bit more of an emotional experience as I've been on this long journey with the dogs and now with the puppies, and it's a lovely experience. I'm not now going to rewatch all of the Buddies films. Maybe eventually. I don't think I've got any left to see. I think I've seen them all, but I could be, if I'm wrong about that, they will be on my to-watch list. But I think this might be the last one. And it's rather sweet. Air Buddies is a sweet story, well-written narrative, well-executed, adorable characters, a really nice introduction to the Buddies. And if it sounds like something that might appeal to you, regardless of whether you've seen any of the others or not, then needless to say, I'm rather happy to recommend it.